in 13 minutes of play come out there and shine and do what he does. Did you see that? Number 4, perhaps you heard of him. Rajon Rondo made his inauguration onto the Los Angeles Clippers. Did you see that?
You know, they got Benedict Arnold over there. You know, they got actually they have 2 versions. They have Benedict Rondo and Benedict Cousins. So they actually have 2 versions.
Well, the one that
you're referring to, Benedict Rondo, you know, that's fine.
Benedict Rondo.
That's fine.
You miss him, don't you?
Of course. How are you not going to miss Rajon Rondo?
You miss it, don't you? Okay. Hunter, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I was very surprised to hear after that game, post-game, you hear Paul George. Paul George is very honest, man. Sometimes he's too honest to a fault. Too honest for his own good. And I don't think he recognizes sometimes what he says and how that's comes across. I'm sure you didn't hear this, or sure you paid no attention to it. But he essentially just turned the keys over to Rajon Rondo. He's the leader of the team. This is his team. It's as much as it. Even before he suited up, it's as much as his team as it's our team. Like, he's a leader. We're gonna listen to him. There's no debate about that. Like, dude, can the dude play a game? Can he coach you up on something? Where does he come in just being signed and automatically you're turning the keys over to this dude? Where's your competitiveness? Where's your fervor? Where's your sense of ownership? Your sense of urgency? I like Paul. He's a good guy.
No, Cam. I'm sorry, Cam. Yeah. You're reading the tea leaves correctly. Yeah, somebody that just came into town 15 minutes ago on a team that was supposed to go to the championship, win the championship last year, with 2 marquee players on it and several other players that have been there trying to build this foundation for years and years. None of them are leaders.
None of them are what?
None of them are leaders. If you're a leader or one of the leaders of a franchise, do you just let some dude just walk in and be like, and just anoint them the leader? They don't even have to really actually do it.
There you go. That's even a better word. Just anoint him. He hasn't been in the locker room a week, and all of a sudden he's a leader of the team. He gets the keys to the car.
Yeah.
He gets the keys to the car.
Leader. Right.
That
without debate or discussion. Yeah.
It shocked me. It was like
that's a team that didn't have a leader and is relieved that someone else will take on those responsibilities for them because they don't want to do it or be that.
And that's not a good look. I like Paul. I just when I heard him saying this over the Zoom conference, like, Paul, what are you talking about, man? It's just you anointing the guy who hasn't played for you. And is that awareness? Is that just self-awareness? Hey, man, I didn't want to do it. I couldn't do it. Whatever it may be. Here, you take over. Here's the key. You take over to do this. Like, that's how it felt to me. And I'm thinking, as a guy with some stature in the league, a guy who's been through some tough battles, a guy who's competing for the Eastern Conference Championship, how does this happen? How does this mentality just kind of, I don't know. How do you not have a winning mentality? And
what's even more unfortunate about it, Cam, is that it would have been easier to do that earlier in his career. I mean, now we're getting like 10 years in now, right? So it's like, why are you turning and looking to someone else for leadership?
Well, your sense of ownership should be there. Like, you should be saying,
by this point, you should be right. Exactly. Should have established yourself as one of the leaders, and certainly not one that's just going to just turn it over just to the guy that you just traded for like 15 minutes ago. It just
that was very surprising. Again, I've been calling for a point guard all season. I was looking for them to sign Rondo in the offseason. I've said for 2 seasons that they needed a point guard. They for exact same reasons. It's refreshing to hear that they all agree. Not saying they agree with me without saying it in so many words, but they agree that they need somebody to take the pressure off of Rondo. The pressure off Paul Pierce and Kawhi Leonard. I asked Ty Lue that specifically. What does a point guard bring to this team? And he says, well, he's a quarterback of the team. He needs somebody to get the ball in positions, and that would alleviate the pressure and get Paul George and Kawhi Leonard easy shots, which they haven't gotten up until now. So it was refreshing to kind of hear that. That's why they need a point guard. But at some point, I would expect it just surprises me that they're so willing to relinquish the leadership of the team. That's
Cam, it doesn't surprise you. It disappoints you because you thought that they had more leadership within their organization before they traded for Rondo, and now it's exposing the fact that they never did. So, poor leadership was the reason they lost in the finals. I wrote that, and you can go back to my article and see what's good in sports. You can see one of the reason for their colossal collapse was they had no leadership. The leadership wasn't there. Kawhi Leonard has to love this. Since Rondo has been signed, since Rondo played on Sunday, they had a game yesterday. We haven't heard from Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't have to come to the podium. Paul George had 36 last night, so it was Paul George. He was a big talk. Everybody wanted to talk to him because he lit up the who did they play? They played somebody. He lit them up for 36 last night. So everybody wanted to talk to him. Benedict Cousins came in and got you 7 quick points off the board. 7 quick points in 7 minutes. He came and did his thing. This team covers all bases now, Clevon. You got to be worried. You got to be worried as a foe. Somebody who's rooting for somebody else in the Western Conference about this Clipper team, because now they have a point guard. Now they have somebody to distribute the ball. They still have Kawhi Leonard, who still he's still a good player. They still have Paul George, who's still a good player. We see he can get you buckets now. He told us yesterday he's able to now to focus on scoring. Okay, Paul, that's all. That's what you want to focus on. You should be getting 40 a night, buddy. 35, 40 a night. You should be doing that. Because that's so you don't have to run the team. You don't have to worry about leading the team. You've given those duties to somebody else. So I need 35 to 40 from you every night. That's what I need. That's your role now. They got Ibaka, who the best thing he's brought to the team here in the last couple of weeks is his dress code. His dress. I don't know if you noticed that he's not following any dress code. He's violating any dress code policies that Adam Silver has had on the league or David Stern has established it within the league. I don't know. He had a dress on Easter Sunday. He came fresh off of Santa Monica Beach with the beach hat and the beach clothes. He was fresh off the beach. I thought I saw him trailing sand into the bench the other day because he was literally fresh off the beach with some flip flops. Like, come on, Ibaka. I think it's load management that they're just kind of saving them for the playoffs. At least I'm hoping it's load management, because if he's not playing, Boogie Cousins becomes an adequate replacement for him, and he's showing that he's healthy. So you got to keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on what the Clippers are doing. What do you think of? What's your thoughts on the Clippers? A very formidable team, top 2, top 3 in the Western Conference at present. No reason to believe they can't get into the Western Conference playoffs and do some serious damage. Let's see if they can really live up to their, expectations, or, find out if their expectations have been unrealistic all this entire time. But I certainly think that, on paper, they're certainly capable of it. But unfortunately, they play in the Western Conference, and you don't win Western Conference titles